And we're rolling whenever you're ready.
Okay, thank you. Summertime.
Hi, I'm your host, VideoBlast, and welcome to another ILuv7 Video Blast.
Niggas and Negroes, opera and Oprah, river and sea, sun and moon, all that is twain is adjoined, adjacent, and connected precisely by the point of division. As we as a universe continue to expand that which is twain, yin and yang, into new relationships, for every play that is canceled because it uses the word nigga, a platinum-selling album like 444 by Jay-Z continues to reveal the truth. For every white professor who cannot speak the words of historical black figures, for every white professor who...
Everybody knows Oprah.
And living is easy. Fish are jumping.
Oprah is a black woman who came to fame on national television, who I would come home from school and watch her show on TV as she interviewed celebrities and all other kinds of people and talked through their lives and brought up social issues and really made an impact on film and TV.
Right. So, give me your name.
Sorry.
This is film going on here. This is high art. Okay. Can I have your name? So let's start with the hard R. When you hear the word nigger, what do you think of?
I know depending on who uses it and in what context they're using it, it could be one of the most offensive things that could ever be said.
Okay. Any images come to mind?
I think when I hear that, I think somebody that's ignorant. Like
Okay.
I feel like whenever I've heard the term, it's always been used in a way to kind of like let it be known that that person is in some sense ignorant or less than.
And when you hear nigga without the R, what do you think of?
Term of endearment or a way to kind of like put yourself on a type of platform, whether that be like somebody who's dangerous or just somebody who is that dude.
Perfect. Thank you. What is the nigga show?
I would have to say I don't know what the nigger show is. I never even heard of that terminology.
What is a nigga?
What is a nigger? Well, depends on how you phrase that. Are you talking N-I-G-G-A, N-I-G-G-R? All of which is, in my opinion, very derogatory and a term used to a term used for people of lower status, lower class, which was originally a term used for slaves, and so people of color or black persons. And so, you know, for me, that's a term that is not warranted of today because there are no people in slavery of today.
Excuse me, is anybody sitting here? I'll take that as a no.
Please don't put your shoes
Oh, my bad. I thought this
on. Do
was
you
a...
even go here, or do I need to call campus police to remove you? Hi, Stockton PD. There's an Afro-American man here with dreads who's making me uncomfortable. Can someone escort him out, please?
Facts.
Billy!
Summertime. summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping and the kite is high. Oh, your daddy's rich and your mom's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing, and you spread your wings, and you'll take to the sky. But till that morning, there's nothing can harm you. With daddy and mommy standing by.
Yeah, I looked over your student name change form, and we don't permit names like Summerhill7 as preferred names.
Names like what?
Summerhill7 as preferred names.
Names like what?
Well, what is this supposed to be?
It's my professional name. I'm an artist.
Yeah, well, we can't put that on an ID badge.
Please, just Google the name. You'll see that it's my real name. Please. Please, just Google me.
Your ID.
Thank you. By the way, what's your name?
Karen.
Facts.
From my understanding, outside of school, I don't really know much about him, but in school we were taught that Mark Twain is like a very
Great.
profound literary,
What is the opera?
American literary scholar.
Opera.
We're rolling. Okay. So give us your full name and spell it.
Okay, my full name is Amy O. My major is occupational therapy. I am in the master's program at Stockton University.
It's usually split into 3 acts, I think, and it has music involved, and it usually goes towards a storyline that's written by a person writing a script.
Great. And what's the grand opera?
The Grand Opera, I don't know, but if I could take like an educated guess, it's a more a bigger production of an opera.
Okay. Who's Oprah?
Oprah, like Oprah Winfrey?
Do you know any other Oprahs?
I do not know any other Oprahs. Yeah, I know Oprah Winfrey. Do I talk about that?
Who is she?
Oh, Oprah Winfrey. She was a talk. I don't know if she's still on air, but she's a talk show host. She's a billionaire, and I think she started off as a news reporter.
And when Mark Twain talks about the nigga show, what do you think he's referring to?
Well, I think he's talking about maybe a play or a production that's made primarily by black people. And maybe it has the context of the show has a lot to do with what they would want to write about and the things that, like the music, showcasing the music of what they're interested in.
Okay. When you hear the word nigga, what do you think?
Can I give my, not academic answer?
Mm-hmm.
Because when I hear it in terms of not an academic setting or something like that, it's usually, it's akin to saying dude, but for black people. That's how I see it, but is there, a academic and also historical root to that word? Yes, but how I'm familiar with it is like that. And then I put on the societal stuff.
Do you remember when you first
That
learned?
makes me sound so bad.
You sound great, bro. You're pristine, purity, all those words he uses. Perfect. You're pristine. You're perfect.
Do that over.
Do you remember the first time you heard it?
It was used by my classmate maybe when I was in the 3rd grade. And then from there I listened to rap music. So I heard it rap music as well.
So when you first heard it from your classmate, did you recognize, did you know what it meant? Or, can you give me, what do you remember? I know it's been a while since you were in 3rd grade, but what do you remember about, because you remember, you have a vivid memory of it happening. What else do you remember about hearing that word and kind of your own personal history with that?
Well, when I first heard it, my initial, because I come from I'm Vietnamese and my parents don't speak English well, so I'm really used to understanding context clues to try to understand something I don't understand, especially a word. I remember the classmate, his name is Jeffrey, and he was just using it in a context similar to I was describing before, calling another black person that, and it was used more like dude, and that's how then I was like, oh, okay, and then that's pretty much.
Have you ever used it?
Yeah.
Great. Any other thing you'd like to say to clarify or shed light on your, speak freely about your feelings about anything that we've talked about related to this?
Well, the word, and then I guess Mark Twain and that stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
From what I understand, Mark Twain was very interested, and he said it was the purest form of opera when he was talking about that in that particular instance. In terms of the word, I don't use it now, and I was ignorant before because that word is reserved for people that come from a certain history, and I shouldn't be using it because it's not right for me to say. It doesn't matter if the context clues or how I initially saw it was oh, it's like a friend or something like that, or even use in a different context. It's not anywhere for me to say. I wouldn't want, I was just ignorant before, and I think that's a part of growing up, is that you learn what to say and what not to say, and then you have your own opinions about it. But in this instance, my opinion about it is that there's just certain things that I won't and can't ever understand, and if that word has a certain connotation to certain people, then that's what it is, and I have to respect that. Much like I would like to be respected if there's something in my history or with my ethnic background that hurts my community and sheds it in a bad light. I wouldn't want that. to be constantly thrown around.
And is there a word, a single word that in your personal experience, I don't know, you know, what that might be, that you wouldn't want someone to say to you if they weren't a part of your cultural experience?
I mean, the two words that come to mind as an Asian person is gook, and maybe like chink, because like all Asian people, that they keep saying that we all look alike and we're all Chinese, so that's the slur for Chinese people. But in my personal opinion, I have pretty thick skin, so if I heard that, I wouldn't take it offensively, because it would just kind of fly over my shoulder. Mainly because my parents and if you told me, if I said the word goop to my mom wouldn't even know what that was, you know? So it's not perpetuated in my culture to keep something of, you know, it's just a word that somebody made up to make us feel worse about ourselves or something. But I feel like you can make any word into a really angry, negative word. Like if you, for instance, maybe this is a stupid example, but if I say somebody's like, yo, you're a pencil, like it doesn't make sense, but I'm like, yo, the person, the fucking pencil, like you give some oomph to it, then it's like, okay, there's a little bit of emotion, and maybe you can catch the tone, or somebody not speaking English, they'll be like, what, is pencil like a bad word or something? I don't know if that's a convoluted thing to say.
I understand it perfectly. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Summer.
First, we're rolling, camera's rolling. So first, say and spell your first and last name.
Do you want full name, or is Chrissy okay?
Full name, so
Okay.
that I know how to get in contact with you in the future.
The opera, as I know it to be, is a collection of musical artists, singers, an orchestra who do ballads and ancient ballads of texts and different things where they sing in languages typically other than English, although there are modernized operas that are in English as well. But they, in the past, have typically been denoted with like a higher sense of importance. People who were richer, who had higher socioeconomic statuses, would attend these, although the people engaged in them, unless they were like the star, were not typically also paid very well. So that's the extent of my knowledge of the opera.
What's the Grand Opera?
The Grand Opera is, I've never really distinguished the two. The Grand Opera, I'm imagining, is just a specific place, a specific event that, I don't know if it's a specific place or event that happened, but people would go, and that was like a more extravagant version of an opera.
Okay. Who's Oprah?
Oprah? She is a television celebrity who, she did an expose actually, she's a journalist, but she did an expose of a town close to my hometown. Unfortunately, it's full of many racist people. Forsyth County and Dawson County. And so she went to Georgia to discuss race politics in the 90s and why they wanted it to be segregated still. But she also is a television personality, a journalist, a notable person of color. She worked for Weight Watchers. But yeah.
What's the nigga show?
I have no idea. I read this book and was shocked. I get that it's from a different time, but also it was very shocking. And I'm assuming it's similar to like a minstrel show or something where people of color were taken advantage of, or they were caricatures of people of color for the entertainment and amusement of white people.
What comes to mind for you when you hear the word nigga?
Well, I'm a white, feminine presenting person, so I'm always shocked to hear it or really read it in literature, especially when somebody who's not a person of color, specifically black or African American, uses it. But it's something that, especially without the hard R, but even with the hard R, that's been reclaimed by people of, black people of color. And it's influential in music and R&B and hip hop and rap, in just different ways for people to reclaim that slur and have it be something of power for them. But white people sometimes think it's just a word and they need to have everything they want, and if they can't have something then they get mad because everything's all about white people, except it's not. So.
Well, that's great. Is there anything else you'd like to add to this? Because that's all my conversations. But is there anything else you'd like to add to just sort of what you know about this conversation?
I'd be interested to know more about your thesis, or because you're writing a book, you're writing a thesis, a paper. Is it about the? Well, yeah. What is it about? We haven't talked about it.
This film is edutainment.
Okay.
So I want to educate people about Mark Twain's use of the word. I want to educate them about Mark Twain and his works, and I want to entertain them in the way that film is designed to do.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I will be watching it because, as I've shown before, I don't know too much about Mark Twain. Ever since high school, I'm in grad school for speech language pathology, so it's not my wheelhouse anymore. So I'm excited to learn more when you and specifically his involvements with the word that we were talking about and discussing, and the implications of that, and how he's such a big, I don't know. I'm very interested to see your analysis. So, yeah, that's it.
Perfect. Thank you, Chrissy. Historical black figures for every white professor who cannot speak the words of historical white figures, for every Negro professor who cannot enjoy relationships with the niggas in his class, for every Negro professor who can only enjoy the sound of the word nigga when it is sanctioned by the superior caste members who are Broadway producers, Hollywood film studios,
Billy.
Record producers,
Where are you, Bill?
for everyone who denies the perfected
Billy.
existence of niggas like
Billy.
us, we offer you
Cut. Perfect. That's the perfect time of day. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. We are cameras rolling. Get ready. Don't move yet. Don't move yet. Just stay right there. Sylvester, that's beautiful. Look around with your head. Yep, beautiful. Yep, do the pipe. Give me his profile with the pipe. Great. And kind of think, where could these niggas be? Okay. And action.
My nigga.